Made in the US. That's what it says right on the title of this video. It says right in the title of this shoe. And it's great to be able to bring you this shoe. Partly because it says made in the US on it, but mainly because it's a New Balance. It's very rare for me to get to review New Balances for my channel. In fact, I've only ever done it twice before in over 500 videos. I've only ever done 2 New Balances before. And that's because I always talk about upcoming sneaker releases, and I only ever learn about New Balance coming down the line when they're like already on top of us or it's too late for me to make a video. But these guys are dropping on March the 26th, so I'm ahead of the game. I can get in there and I can let you know what it is about this upcoming release of the New Balance 1300 Levi's collaboration called Made in US, Made in the US of A. And there's a lot going on in this sneaker. There's a lot to talk about in terms of that, and also to compare it to the Air Jordan 4 Levi's, which is one of the, can we say the biggest sneakers of the last couple of years? I think a lot of people got hot for the Levi 4s, and then here they are, Levi's tying it up with the New Balance line. So without further ado, let's take a deeper look at the New Balance 1300 Levi's Made in US. This is the Tokyo Butter 23 Sneaker Channel. Tokyo Butter 23 Sneaker Channel. Desu Mainichi, Absuru de Mainichi Mite Kudasai. Every single day from Tokyo, Japan, I bring you content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news, and sneaker reviews. And the upcoming release that we're talking about today is the New Balance 1300 Levi's collaboration Made in US. Boston-based company, New Balance. Levi's couldn't be more all-American. So smashing those two guys together is going to get you the all-American shoe. And that's what we're going to be having a look at today. Now, I did mention that I have reviewed New Balances before, and one of them was actually a similar sort of all-American tie-up, and it was a similar colorway in a way. Now, before I point to that link, I will mention that you don't need to click on that link. You can wait. That link will sit there for the duration of this video, and then at the end of the video, when I point at the last link, it'll bring up a menu of all the links that I've talked about in this video, and you can go check out one of those videos. But what I'm talking about is I'm talking about the Red Wing. Doing. I reviewed the New Balance Red Wing tie-up last year, and it was, I think it was the second New Balances that I'd ever been able to review for the channel. And I do try and mix it up at my channel. I like to have Reebok, I like to have Adidas, I like to have Nike, I like to have New Balance. I like to have, what else? I've had Asics in there. I'm trying to think what other brands I've had in there. Over 500 videos, man. It's an awful lot of sneakers to look at. And the other one that I did was it was a comparison between the all-terrain, New Balance all-terrains, and the Pegasus 36 Trails. Check out that video at the end of this video if you want to, or go click on it now if you want to. Either way, that link will be there for the duration. So they're the 2 New Balances that I've reviewed for the channel already, but here we are. Finally, it's like 2 weeks pre-drop on March 26th, a chance for me to finally say to you guys, here's an upcoming sneaker, New Balance 1300s. It's a collaboration with Levi's. It's called Made in US, where this can't go wrong. This has got to be an absolute win-win for you, the viewer, and for me, the content creator. So without further ado, let's get into the Jordan 4 Levi's. Ding! There's the Jordan 4 Levi's back there. And the reason why I want to put those guys up there is because I tend to just call it the way I call it. I'm not a huge follower of hype. I'm not big on, doing what I'm told. I'll do what I believe in and what I think. And in terms of the Jordan 4 Levi's, I think there was too much denim on there. They were too Levi and not enough Jordan 4. Now, yesterday, in yesterday's video, I was talking about that because what it was a tie-up between the Air Max 95 Neon and the Jordan 4 Neons. And my point, and the Jordan 4 Neons hopefully are behind me now, and my point was that the Jordan 4 Neons stayed true to the silhouette, but they really effectively showed the 95 Neon colorway, that mashup between the two. And so it felt like the sneaker wasn't overloaded by the 95. So the Jordan 4 Neons respected the Air Max 95s without actually being overwhelmed by them. And here's a link to yesterday's video. Check that out now or check it out at the end of this video. It'll be there either way. But then when I think of the Jordan 4 Levi's, I feel like the Levi element overwhelmed overwhelms that sneaker a little bit too much, and the Jordan 4 is kind of lost within it. And then if we have a look at these New Balance 1300s, it's an absolute yes. Look at this right here. It is definitely a collaboration between New Balance and Levi's. It is not Levi's overwhelming the sneaker. And I'll get into a few points on that in today's video where we look at that. First things first is let's look at the materials, because there's two main materials, and I think the best place to do that is to go in on the toe box, because you can see both of those materials side by side. So the Levi element is represented in denim. So the blue areas on the sneaker you can see are in denim, and hopefully that toe box behind me here gives you a real close-up look at that denim element there. But what it should also give you is a look at the wraparound toe box that goes beside that denim element and the hairy suede. Now I think the two work really well, because denim generally speaking isn't hairy. It's a very smooth material, and you tend not to get little random threads sticking out, or dust bunny style things. What are those little what are those things called when they look like dust bunnies on your clothes, especially fabric clothes like wool and cotton, that over time you'll get these little like dust bunny style things, but you don't get that on denim. It's a very flat and smooth material, and that in contrast to the hairy suede that they've chosen to go with on the rest of the sneaker, both in terms of the material, so the smooth denim and the hairy suede, but also in terms of the color, the dark blue denim and the light tan hairy suede. It's a big yes for me. I think it looks really, really cool. I love the contrast between the colors and love the contrast between the two materials. And speaking of materials, there's one other place to look in terms of materials, and that's on the N New Balance branding on the side, and also on the heel, where you've got that heel branding on there, both of which are in this really solid orange leather, not at all hairy suede or denim. It's a solid orange leather, and again it kind of ties the shoe together really well. My criticism of the Air Jordan 4 Levi's was that it was too much Levi, but I really dig these New Balance 1300 Levi's, because I think they've got the balance right between the colors and the balance right between the materials. So it's a big yes for me. There is a question, I suppose, over the Levi's element here. Of course, the denim shows strong for the Levi brand, but the actual branding itself, I can only find 3 places where the Levi's branding comes through on the sneaker, 2 of which are somewhat insignificant. The first is the box, which you've already seen behind me here, and I'll throw it up again so you can see the Levi's branding on the box. The second is the insole. So the box and the insole are 2 parts of a sneaker that people rarely see. So the box, it's at home, it's in a cupboard, or worse, it's trash, and nobody gets to see that, so your branding is a bit wasted there. And then the insole, it's the least seen part of a sneaker when you think of somebody's foot being in there. So again, the branding on the insole is a little bit wasted, if you like, and the only visible branding to the Levi's brand is on the outside. On the lateral side, you've got that tag up there, a very small tag to represent the Levi brand on there, and it's cool. I love it. I think it's great. It's great to see the New Balance branding and the Levi's branding side by side, but I wonder if maybe Levi's could have had a little bit more of a shout out, for example, up on the tongue, or on the back end of these guys on the heel. They could have put some more Levi's branding on there, but I'm being a little bit picky because these guys are cool. They're a really cool sneaker. They're sleek. They're a great balance of materials, great balance of the colorway. I think they are a really, really nice sneaker. I think they could very well be hot. There's an awful lot of pro-American stuff coming down the line. A lot of red, white, and blue sneakers. A lot of made in America, USA sneakers. Maybe it's because of the Olympics and the national pride that goes with that. So people are jumping on what potentially could be a very proud moment for the American athletes and the American nation. And therefore the sneaker companies are churning out America-centric content. Or it might just be pure coincidence. Who knows? But these guys, I think they're fire. I think Levi's definitely represents America very well, so calling it made in US is kind of obvious in a way, and I think just all in all it's a really cool sneaker, and I think a lot of people are actually going to dig into their pockets and buy these guys, because I think this New Balance 1300 is actually pretty cool. Now, speaking of the Olympics, as we wrap up this video, I do have to mention the coronavirus, which might actually derail those Olympics. Might have already derailed the Olympics between me shooting this content and the actual content dropping on YouTube. But in terms of being in Tokyo and the coronavirus and stuff, I don't want to include too much about it in my sneaker videos, which I drop every day at 7 p.m. Japan time. But what I do is I go live every morning for half an hour or so before coming into work, so people can see the real situation in Tokyo, Japan, as this coronavirus situation develops. And I've made that into a playlist. So doing, there's a playlist of all the live videos I've done at 7:30 a.m. in the morning Japan time about the coronavirus, and we'll be getting into the Olympics, I'm sure, over the next days and weeks to see if they are going to go ahead. And then the last thing we do is we throw up a final playlist, which is about the rarest sneakers in the world, in hand. They're amazing sneakers. There's samples and one-of-ones and player exclusives, and they're just an incredible batch of sneakers that come to the channel every single Sunday in hand, and we're grateful to Shoe Butter for doing that for us. And I always throw up a playlist to that last, and what happens is when you click that playlist, all the other videos that I've linked come up as well, and you can choose which one you're going to go ahead and watch. So here's that playlist. Doing, click on that to see any of the other links and go ahead and watch one of those videos. But for now, it's time for me to sign off. Thank you guys for checking out my content, but because I do this every single day, you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.